Democrat Senator Chris Coons from Delaware. He served as national co-chair of President Biden's re-election campaign. Senator Coons, welcome back. It's good to have you here, sir.
Thanks. It's always good to be on with you, Martha.
What's your reaction to this? Is this the end of Kamala Harris's career in politics?
I don't think so. She was a very strong attorney general for the state of California. She served well in the Senate and as vice president. I don't know what her future will bring, but I'm sure she will continue to serve her state and our nation.
Would you encourage her to run for president again if she came to you and said, look, I'm talking to a lot of people for advice, I'm not going to run for governor? Would you be supportive if she wanted to run for the Democratic nomination in 2028?
Martha, 2028 is a long way off. And first, we need to focus on the challenges right in front of us here in Congress. Our president, Donald Trump, and his OMB director are trying very hard to shut this government down. And on a bipartisan basis, those of us who are appropriators are trying to keep it open and trying to do our job and meet the needs of the American people, keeping costs down, keeping our national defense strong, investing in health care. And that's in contrast with a president who wants to take away health care from millions of Americans. That's the issue right in front of us. 2028 is literally years away.
Well, we had a good GDP number today, and we do see hundreds of billions, as Scott Bessent says, probably 300 billion coming into the coffers through these tariffs so far, which economists on both sides of the aisle seem to feel is a pretty strong record so far. I'm just being told that Hunter Biden, what did he say in response to Kamala Harris's decision? Quote, this is a quote from Hunter Biden on Kamala Harris dropping out of the governor's race in California. That's interesting, he says.
So, Martha, I'll respond to your point about 3% GDP growth and $300 billion coming in tariff revenue. This Friday is when President Trump's next round of tariffs are scheduled to take effect. I'll remind you, it's American consumers who are paying those tariffs. The first quarter, our economy shrank, and that's partly because of the chaos and unpredictability of the tariffs. I don't know, and frankly, no one knows, whether President Trump will go ahead with the very large tariffs that are scheduled to hit this Friday.
You know, we were all told it was doomsday based on the tariffs. And,
yes.
You know, anywhere you look, you know, across the sort of persuasion spectrum, people are saying, gee, this actually didn't turn out to be terrible for our economy. In fact, Jerome Powell just said that wages are rising higher than the rate of inflation. So he thinks that's a pretty good sign for the U.S. economy.
So, Martha, that's largely because President Trump suspended most of his major tariffs. He's been trying to negotiate deals. I think he said he'd get 90 deals in 90 days. He's had a handful, but he has largely suspended imposing massive new tariffs.
They still have $300 billion coming in.
They're saying
that they think it's going to be pretty productive in terms of lowering the debt, because they're going to have about $300 billion coming in. So some of them may not have gone into effect. He said he's sticking to the August 1st deadline with these other countries. So clearly the tariffs are bringing in income to the country. Correct? You would see that.
Yes. What they are not doing, Martha, is bringing prices down, because consumers are paying those additional tariff-driven higher prices.
But inflation is lower now than it was when he took office, Senator.
On his promise to put tariffs on all of our major trading partners, that's going to raise prices.
Inflation is lower
products
now,
coming into our country
than
right
it was
now
when he took
pay
office,
about 2.5% tariff. He's going to quadruple that. That will raise our prices.
I'm just asking for like an objective take on this, because here inflation is down since President Trump came into office. You accept that number?
Inflation is roughly level. It has not gone down significantly. It has also not gone up significantly.
Well, it's a lot lower than the 9% that we had in the last administration, correct? It's down, I think it's about 2.7%, if I'm looking at the right number here. Yeah, I am.
Which is close to what it was last year. So, yes, right after the massive pandemic that was made worse by President Trump's conduct in the first months of the pandemic, yes, the recovery, which required significant investment to restart our economy, we had high inflation. By the end of the previous administration, the Biden administration, that inflation had come down dramatically.
Okay, it was just so people know. It was at 3.1 in January. It's at 2.7 now. So that just the argument that tariffs or these arrangements on trades have made things more expensive for people is not true. It is only marginally lower, as you point out, but it is lower. It is not higher as a result of the tariffs.
It depends on the product. If you've gone to the grocery store and bought beef recently, it's at an all-time high. If you're trying to build housing so that we can deal with our national crisis,
well, everybody
in
wants
affordable
prices
housing,
to get lower. That's for
prices
sure.
for wallboard and plywood coming from Mexico and Canada are higher. So
right. We'll see
there are some lower, some higher.
We'll see what direction it all goes in. Senator Coons, thank you very much. Do you want Hunter Biden to run for president? Sounds like he's thinking about it.
No, I do not.
No, you do not.
No, I do not.
Okay.
Martha, I do have something up on Fox today that is a letter calling on President Trump to not give advanced technology to China. He has just waived some of the critical technology export controls that were in place to prevent China from taking the lead in artificial intelligence. I hope viewers will give that a read.
H2O
it's an
chip,
important letter, an important issue.
There's some controversy over that. Senator, will point people to that piece as well on Fox. Thank you very much, Senator. Good to have you,
Martha.
You bet.